Top Shelf Backpacking Trail Fails. Today we are heading home from a failed trip, but that's not what Dura and I will be talking about. We are going to be talking about the lessons learned in our first trip in the snow along the Clackamas River Trail outside of Portland, Oregon. We were hiking from, it's like Fish Creek Trailhead or something up to Indian Henry Camp. I want to say it was early-ish spring.
About now time.
Yeah, April-ish. And snow was expected.
Not the amount.
True. And basically we were hiking up to what was a closed car campground, knowing we should be able to find a flat enough spot to dig out and, camp for the night before hiking back down. So, where do you want to start?
Well, you see what had happened was, we could probably start, as soon as we got out of the car when we found the spot we were going to park. Top Shelf here told me, hey, don't wear your puffy coat. Let's make sure that we stay cold now so we can be warm later. And I kept saying, no, I think I'm going to wear it. I'm fine.
So I am a big proponent of be bold, start cold. One, because I hate taking off my bag. Got a lot of miles on it. I've got it pretty dialed in where I'm not shifting around all the time. Temps were in the 30s, if I recall, so it was cold. And when you step out of a nice warm car into the 30-degree temps, you definitely want to stay bundled up. But when the thing keeping you warm is your puffy that you're going to need that night, that's where things started to get a little dicey.
Immediately. So I decided, no, I'll just keep wearing it. It's fine. I'll be fine. I said fine a lot.
Yep.
And
so I was hiking behind him, and as the snow started to get deeper and we started to climb some elevation, we were heading upriver, I could see the sweat around his shoulder straps coming through his puffy jacket. And I was aware the only other clothes he had with him were sleep clothes, kind of base layer stuff, and that we really needed our puffies for when we got to camp because the temps would be getting colder then. But he hiked on.
I am now a big proponent of also be bold, start cold. So lessons were learned, but we made it to camp, and luckily there was an open bathroom. When we got to camp, I had sweat so much you could almost see through my black puffy, which isn't normally a thing.
Right.
It's not how that works usually.
So we did get a fire going. There was enough down trees around and enough dry trees to get something going. So I sat there in my shorts and t-shirt drying off as best I could before I layered up to stay warm. But that, probably the most concerned I've ever been on trail, because I knew, one, we're at a closed campground, road access probably isn't a thing. I didn't have a Garmin back then. We were out of cell reception range.
And new to hiking.
Right? And so our options would probably be pack up, get hiking as quickly as possible to warm up, which doing in the dark would not have been a good time.
For our first snow hike ever.
Right? So yeah, thankfully since then, both of us tend to start out with just the basics on. I've learned, especially when elevation or weight is involved, bag weight, I've always got weight, to, I'm going to wet out in rain gear typically, so maybe don't bother wearing it so you have some dry rain gear for when you get to camp and you want to put it on then kind of deal. But yeah, if your only insulation is your puffy or whatever it is, probably best to take it off as soon as you start to heat up and just keep moving to stay warm. Otherwise you risk soaking a puffy, which does not do well in the wet, if you didn't know.
It does not.
If that's your main means of, staying alive and stuff. So, lessons were learned, so not technically a fail, because we have definitely grown since then, both he and I. But, be bold, start cold. For more information on all the stuff you see on this channel, visit topshelfbackpacking.com. And until we see you again, cheers.